Good morning. All right. This is the end of June almost. My goodness. Oh. Good morning, folks. Welcome to True North Insight channel. And if you're not familiar with True North Insight, you can check out the website truenorthinsight.org. We are Canadian Vipassana retreats and teachings and courses, and we teach in French and English. I only teach in English, but we have many wonderful French teachers. And this is our channel while we're in separation physically. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Carolyn. Hi, Kathy. Oh, you already read it. Good. Yes. Thanks for checking that out. I wasn't sure if it shows up beforehand. Good morning, Monty and Rebecca. Dear Saturday Sangha. How nice is that? That's so nice. I didn't get this link put down in the description, so I'm just going to pop it here. Is that going to be the right thing? No, that's not it. Let me go back here. Here it is. Oh, I bet it won't let me because it's too long. Copy. They only let you put so much in comments, which is a good thing. Only 200 characters. Oh, 188. It worked. Okay, so that's a link to an event that online that I'm participating in later today, and it relates to this topic. So it looks like it starts at 10 a.m., but it's Eastern. That's listed in Pacific Standard Time. So for us in who may be here in Eastern Standard Time, that starts at 1 o'clock. So there's still time to join, I imagine. And there's a nice sliding scale that makes it quite accessible, I hope. So welcome, and let's just take a few breaths or moments just to land here and check into our intention for this time, your personal intention. And part of the teaching this morning is on patience. So you might bring that intention into your morning of to bring some patience to your life, to your day, but also just to your practice this morning. Okay, thank you for that little settle. It always helps me. Good morning, Kathy. So it's so always interesting to me, the synchronicities of things that come together, or no, I think it's more likely that, you start to look for those things and see certain things that are resonating, and it's like, oh, some people might believe, oh, the universe says, here you go. Maybe, I don't know, and that doesn't really matter at all. Good morning, Geeti. So urgency and patience. There's so many signs, of course, pointing to the urgency of the state of our world, our environment, our humanity, our crisis on all levels, really, all levels that have come to are coming to a boil, it seems. And also a sense that we're in for a bit of a long haul with this. And that's a good thing. It's a tiring and overwhelming thing as well, but it's a good thing in that we don't want all of this energy behind social action and energy behind environmental transformation, energy behind care for all living beings to just be another passing movement. The time for change is beyond due. So, this sense of urgency, spiritual urgency, all levels of urgency, and patience are seem to be needed. And I read something that Ajahn Chah had said. He was a Thai forest teacher, monk, very great spiritual leader in the Theravadan Thai forest tradition. And he said that we need to develop, and that was, I'm not sure when he died. I think in the 80s, but no, it's not that long ago. Okay, anyways, he said we need to develop a profound sense of urgency in meditation practice and use the training to develop patient endurance. That's not a direct quote because he wasn't speaking in English, but so this profound sense of urgency, it's called Samvega in Pali, for those who may be interested. Samvega. The spiritual urgency in our practice and in our lives, our actions, which is of course our practice as well. It's not just sitting on the cushion by far. And use that, the training of this whole path, to develop patient endurance, because we need to keep on. And part of the reason why I shared that event that's happening later this afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 o'clock Pacific Time, the title of it is, let me get it correctly, Cultivating Solidarity and Building Stamina for Transformative Action. And this gathering is particularly for white practitioners, for us to, white identified folks, to, do our own work and not keep asking people, what do you need me to do? To cultivate solidarity with all beings, and to build the stamina to continue transformative action. So that's an online meditative teaching that's happening this afternoon. The link is there. So it's really related to this whole thing of staying focused and centered as we build the capacity to be with dukkha, really, to be with suffering, to be with this painful time. And we need to have our practice and community and solidarity with all beings to build this sense of strength to endure. In the Dhammapada, I never know if people are interested in these, Pali things and the suttas. Maybe you could let me know sometime if you do find them useful or helpful. I think some people maybe look things up for further reflection. So in the Dhammapada, the stanzas 183 to 185 are what I'm going to teach about today. And so one way to sum up those three stanzas into one short line, and this was in a book of teachings from Ajahn Chah, says that patient endurance, oh great, thank you, it's good to know. Patient endurance is the supreme practice for freeing the heart from unwholesome states. Isn't that interesting? Patient endurance. I like this because, yeah, it says it's the supreme practice for freeing the heart, patient endurance. And so this sense that Ajahn Chah wrote about of urgency and patience, they seem almost different and, opposite in some way. Like urgency has that forward moving energy to it and momentum of, we really need to get going on this. And then it's like endurance, patience. At the same time, I love how these are held together in that same thing, this sense of urgency, because we see the truth of how things are, and we realize we need this long ability to continue. So I have a bit of a mashup here of three different translations of these stanzas in the Dhammapada, because translation is translation, and every translator, puts a little flavor or chooses this word out of the definition instead of that. And I find it really helpful to look at several translations, and then you can really get the fullness of the meaning for me. So the first one, it says, to cease or avoid all evil, the non-doing of anything evil. By evil, does it mean like demonic evil? It means unskillful, unwholesome, unwise, unkind, greedy, deluded, hateful. These are, so we are to begin here by just stopping, ceasing, acting in harmful ways. And then, of course, we need to cultivate the good, the skillful, the to commit to non-harm, and to in some of them it says cleanse one's mind, and another one says purify the heart. In English, we would think these are different things, mind and heart, but in these teachings, it's understood same. Chitta, it's called, heart, mind, chitta. The aware heart, the aware, the knowing, compassionate aspect of ourselves, chitta, heart, mind. The aware. So this is to be purified, to be cleansed, to yeah. Okay, so ceasing what is harmful, cultivating what is skillful, purifying the heart mind. This is the teaching of the Buddhas, or the awakened ones, because Buddha means awakened one. Siddhartha Gautama was the teachings that we talk about as the teachings from the Buddha, but there's many awakened ones, many. So this is the teaching of the awakened ones. Avoid harm, cultivate good, and purify the heart mind. Okay, this is where it starts. The second stanza then goes on to this part about enduring patience. Enduring patience Patience is the word Khanti, Khanti. And for some folks, I think can't see the chat, so I'll just spell that. It says, enduring patience is the ultimate austerity, the foremost austerity. Can't think of another word for that right now. So enduring patience, yeah, is supreme practice for freeing the heart, which is interesting, I think. And then it goes on to say that nibbana is what in Sanskrit becomes the word nirvana. In Pali, it's nibbana. Nibbana is supreme. And so we could say, if you're not sure what that means, it means unbinding. It means extinguishing the flames. It means the defilements are removed. So this is that purifying of the heart. This is the, a fully awakened being has attained nibbana, or the putting out of the fires. But also, this is not unattainable, that we all have experienced truly and know the times when the fires have cooled. We've known the times when there is no greed, hatred, or delusion in the heart mind, maybe for a moment, maybe for a few moments. And it's really important to know that when it's present. So this nibbana, or unbinding, is the foremost, is ultimate, and this is what the awakened ones say. And one is not a true contemplative or a true renunciate, someone who's abandoned clinging, if we are oppressing others, if we're mistreating others. The third stanza, the itchy nose. The third, it's making my eyes water. Unbinding, yeah. The third stanza, I think I'm gonna have to get a Kleenex. My nose is so itchy. All right, let me just see if I can let it pass. Oh, okay, third stanza. Not despising, not insulting, not injuring, not harming, and cultivating restraint according to the codes, like our values, our precepts. Moderation in food, dwelling in solitude, devotion to meditation. This is the teachings of the awakened ones. The commitment to purifying the heart and mind. So that's kind of a little mashup of these three stanzas in the Dhammapada. And it's that middle one that really speaks to the, we want to abandon what's harmful, cultivates what's skillful, purify the heart and mind. And to do all this, we need enduring patience. So this is really teaching about our own personal practice of transforming our inner realms that need this. But of course, the personal is political, as us old feminists would say, that the work we do inside is the way we move in the world. And same. Um, so yeah, this word I mentioned, it's interesting also. I looked that up in the Poly English Dictionary. It's that word of patience, Khanti, Khanti. It means patience, forbearance. Forbearance. That's interesting, right? Because forbearance doesn't mean you just take it. Like, oh, this is it because, but it does mean developing our capacity to be with the suffering. This is what we're doing, and through this we see the way out of this. But also in that definition of patience, it listed forgiveness. That was surprising to me, but awesome. So on Wednesday night, there's a Dharma talk here that I did on the forgiveness practice and what that means. So if that kind of tweaks your interest and you haven't heard that one yet, you can look for that forgiveness on this YouTube channel. That's interesting. Forgiveness is in this definition of Khanti, of patience. Forgiveness. Food for thought there. This other aspect that I'm speaking of this morning of urgency, this is called Samvega. I think I wrote it down already somewhere in the list of words here. Yes, I did, Samvega. This is usually defined as spiritual urgency. It's a sense of shock, of dismay, alienation that is happening for anyone that has little dust in their eyes, as the Buddha said it. Anybody that's seeing the state of the world. There is a oppressive sense of shock and dismay, and that comes with realizing the pain of how we are living, the current state of our lives, our hearts, the world, and really seeing this is not working. With it, people are often not fond of this part, but there's a chastening sense. There's kind of I think it's called Hari and Ottappa, dread, remorse, when we see our own complacency and foolishness in having let ourselves live blindly. And it's not, I don't know, did I say shame? I didn't mean to. I think I might have. But it's not shame. This is a negative state. It's remorse, regret. When we see ways that we've been blind, complacent, part of participating in systems of oppression from ignorance or from not wanting to see. And when we see this is what feeds this sense of urgency. Like, I need to clean up house. I need to do some schooling and learn about the ways that I have benefited and then perpetuated systems that are causing harm to others. Sorry, I just need a sip. And to the world. In regards to patience, Ajahn Chah reportedly said, when students would come to him, talking about how hard it is, talking about, it's this situation at home is so painful. This feeling in my practice is so painful. Um, or this in our community, this is happening and this is happening and this is happening and I've lost this um, and apparently he would say, can you endure it? Can you endure it? And this is not said in a dismissive way. This is actually said, it's not like this kind of a machismo kind of enduring it. What it means is that the way beyond the suffering, the way to this unbinding, is neither to run away from it, to wallow in it, or even to grit our teeth to get through it on sheer willpower alone. It's this, can I endure this? Often we might hear ourselves or others say, I can't take another moment of this. I can't stand it. I can't take any more. And this is, you can hear in the wording of it, this is a future projecting, like, I can't do any more of this. I can't take any more of this. But actually, when it's being said in the present moment, you are. You are enduring it. It's just the mind projecting into future that says, no, 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 no. And so we need to come back, of course, into present moment awareness in order to endure. Yeah, actually, in this moment, I am enduring it. It is so horrible. It's so painful. This mind state, this body state, this state of the world, this state of all of it is very painful. And we are actually in that present moment that we're saying, I can't take it. We are. As Ajahn says, we are enduring it right then. So even though we can see that, we need patience for this longer path of transformation that we're in right now, present moment is how we endure. Patient endurance means to hold steady in the midst of the difficulty. Hold steady. To understand and to know the truth of suffering, dukkha, and to understand its causes and thus its ending. Okay. Ajahn Sucitto, patience is one of the paramis, the 10 paramis, and patience is a wonderful factor. Spiritual urgency is what the Buddha felt when he, the kind of story of him being Siddhartha Gautama, this young man, and when he saw aging, sickness, death, and then he saw the fourth heavenly messenger, divine messenger of a renunciate, this is what awoke in him the spiritual urgency, sambhega, to, I feel like saying, to wake the hell up. Time is precious, opportunity is lost, let us awaken. And this is, then he left the householder life and went on this path of finding the middle path and awakening. That was that spiritual urgency. So I love how Ajahn Sucitto says this about patience. Beautifully said. The restraint, so good. he says the Buddha, pointed not to physical asceticism, which means extreme austerities, which he frequently spoke against because he went down that road, almost died, and then said, oh, middle path, in short. So he's speaking against severe physical austerities, but instead he's spoke about the restraint. So remember, I mentioned renunciation, the restraint of holding the heart still in the presence of its suffering until it lets go of the ways in which it creates that suffering. That is so good. Okay. The restraint, I just want to write that down for you because I think it's so good, of holding the heart still. Isn't that great? Heart, mind, chitta, still in the presence of its suffering, dukkha, until it lets go of the ways in which it creates that suffering. This is from Ajahn Sucitto. There you go. That's what patience means. The Kanti Parami, the perfection of patience. Restraint of holding the heart still in the presence of its suffering until it lets go of the way in which it creates that suffering. Wow. So this is pointing to the Four Noble Truths, the truth of suffering, seeing there's a cause, and if there's a cause for the arising of suffering, which there is, and the cause is clinging, if we release the clinging, then we are on the path of releasing the suffering. Okay, that's enough. Let me just see what Vaishya said here. I guess if we don't see our past anguish as the worst thing, then we won't disbelieve to be present. It would be so difficult. Yeah, that's helpful. Totally. If we can tolerate looking at past anguish and seeing maybe it's not the worst thing. It's developing our capacity to be with, even if it is the worst thing. This heart stillness of capacity to be with, this is so painful. But then to see in what ways are we fueling that continuing, and in what ways can we free that and liberate that. And part of this is knowing that it's possible. Well, that relates to another topic, but to recollect and remember that we can be free. The Buddha was not a god. The Buddha is one of many awakened beings, humans, and to know that and to recall that in your own self, there are times when you've let something go from the pain of it, the dukkha of it. Letting it go doesn't mean it's like, oh, well, it's fine, and not acting on it. Letting it go means unbinding the heart so that we then carry on in the path. All right. I wonder if that was all clear as mud. Poem from Rosemary. Who was it this morning? Was it Terry that said, no, Kathy had read the poem and found it moving already. This poem is called Anthem, Rosemary Watola Tromer. I put the link down below. She has a new book of poetry, and if you find her poetry touches your heart, to me it really speaks another language of these teachings. It's helpful to support poets, of course, by buying their books. Anthem. Today's anthem is not my chorus of curses when the cat knocked the glass of Sauvignon Blanc onto my open laptop. It's not the clashing swords in the movie we watched, nor the sobbing that shook me this morning when I tried to speak of loss. The anthem is not the click of the door, nor the snap of the branch beneath the stellar's jay, nor the soundless slide of the moon. Today's anthem was the hum I know you would have made if you'd held me while I wept. The waves of our breath inviting us to wade deeper in. There is that capacity in this to hold ourselves, hold each other in the grief, in the fear, in all the states that are arising. This gentle hum as we take care of each other, and invite, this gives us the capacity to go deeper in. I know some people are finding it hard to be still, to actually get on your meditation cushion, to turn off all the stuff and to just turn your attention in, because it's so painful right now. And this is strong encouragement. Makes me think of the kids on TikTok I don't subscribe to, but they wake up, wake up. This strong encouragement that we have to sit down, we have to be still, we have to renunciate, put things aside and pay attention. This is our calling, which calls us then to respond in the world. All right, stop preaching. Okay, really last thing, then we practice. A friend came for a walk yesterday, and it was so nice. If you're craving hugs, it was so lovely. So we each hugged a tree, standing near each other. But you know how the trees are interconnected, of course, through their roots and their mycelium. Is that what it's called? All the underground network of how they connect and are interconnected. And so we're both hugging the tree. So you get that physical feeling of holding, hugging, feeling something against your heart, and then feeling that connection of the roots to each other. It was really great. It reminds me of this here, of how you would have hummed while you're holding me while I weep. Isn't that? Yeah. So if you get a chance, hug a tree. Trees like it. We like it. And it's a way to connect with each other. Let us practice some patience in these last 20 minutes here together. With a sense of spiritual urgency. Wake up. Time to wake up. Yeah. Okay. Stop moving papers. Oh, you're welcome. Hugs. Yeah, it was great. So thank you to Jacqueline for teaching me that, and also for gifting me with a lot of books from Ajahn Chah, where this talk was inspired from. Yeah, feel that. I hope this is something I've been able to convey, some spiritual urgency. So you might feel that as a sensation within you of uplifting energy, of vibration, a sense of wakefulness, wakefulness. Wake up, wake up. Use this now. Use this to set aside any distractions right now. And put down the devices and let the eyes rest. This is part of this restraint and cultivation, as was said in that third stanza of cultivating solitude. Put down the distractions. Let's take a few moments here just to settle in to your posture, whatever it is, lying, standing, sitting. See if there's a place within you that feels this spark, or maybe a lovely warm fire of urgency. This call to awakening within you for the sake of all beings everywhere. And perhaps for you this lands in some places in the body, this sense of vibration or energy or brightness or movement. It might not be in a specific felt place in the body, but maybe it is. It could manifest as a brightness or energy around the eyes. Sometimes in the jaw, a sense of wanting to speak out, speak up. And something stirring in the heart, energized in the gut, activated in the hands. And we need to develop this profound sense of urgency in our meditation and use that, use the training to get us on the cushion, to now develop patience, patient endurance, which means the capacity to meet with the suffering within our own being. Courage. So if you like, you could just tune into the state of the heart and mind, state of dukkha, of suffering that has touched you. It can't not have touched you in these times. Hold steady as you meet with how things are in your heart and mind, what suffering, what difficulty is here right now. self-compassion. And of course, we can feel the connection to what's present in our own heart minds, to what is true in the world. To understand, to know the truth of suffering, and then to continue, look more deeply at the causes. The cause of greed, hatred, delusion, not seeing clearly. The cause of craving, wanting, stay present in your heart and your body, aware heart. As you allow yourself to fuel the commitment to wise speech, wise action, right intention, awakening. If you notice your attention has drifted off into desire for other thoughts or fantasy or ruminating about past, planning future, just notice that with kind attention and begin again. Developing patience, begin again. Settle in here with your attention right here in the center of the present moment. Just watching thoughts come and go. The same way sounds and breath, emotions come and go. Steady presence, all arising, passing. Commitment to the heightened mind, devotion to meditation. Begin again. Develop your patience. Begin again. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes quickly and opportunity is lost. Let us awaken. Awaken. I will not squander my life. I just want to point out what a radical thing this was that the Buddha said. When he said, enduring patience is the highest, the ultimate, the foremost austerity. Because at that time in India, and you still see this today, the sadhus, that their practice, their path is extreme renunciation and hardships to the body as a way to surpass this physical form, is my limited understanding of it. You know, lying, sleeping on the bed of nails, classic cliche example, but you know, at the time the Buddha had practiced with extreme austerities, you know, and only eating a grain of rice a day, it's said, or just a great, really a lot of hardship, to the point where he almost died. And so then when he found the middle path, when the middle path was conditioned to arise for him, they he went back to the fellow practitioners he'd been practicing that way with, and they accused him of abandoning. You know, he was just being luxurious and eating and having wearing finer robe or something. I'm sure it wasn't a fine robe at that point, but finer than whatever, you know, harsh rags they were using. And because it was, you know, considered that that was the way. And for him to say, actually, the ultimate, the foremost, the highest austerity, austere measure is enduring patience. That's a whole nother story, a really different picture of the middle path. Enduring patience with spiritual urgency. Yeah. So if that resonates for you. That event link is higher up here in our chat. If you're not able to access it, if you're interested in this event of cultivating solidarity and building stamina, um, let me know. It starts at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and I can send you the link. I'm pretty sure you could still get in on it. But in all the ways, in all of our ways, every day, please pull up your spiritual urgency and sit down and be still. Be quiet. Pay attention. Cultivate this stillness, presence, heartfulness within yourself, within ourselves, so that we can be in this for the long haul and stay the path of compassion and right action. You're welcome, Rebecca. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Everyone's presence here feels like a lovely, sweet Saturday morning Sangha, as uh, Rebecca said this morning. Warm greetings, dear Saturday Sangha. So lovely. Reminder that I'm not here next Wednesday and Saturday, taking a few days away. And there's a link below for support, Donna, if you're able to contribute to this continuing, and me being able to continue this in this way. Thank you so much for all the support you have given, and your support of being here. Okay, so Wednesday, July 1st and Saturday, July 4th, I'm not here, but then I will be back Wednesdays and Saturdays. See you. Be well.